Hello, everybody. Hello. If you can move up a little bit, because I'm going to be singing the next hour, so I don't want to use too much of my voice here. So first of all, thank you all for coming. We've got, by last count, we have 21 people in Ruby for our 187th Peaceful Rally for Social Justice here on Christmas Eve. Yep, yep. So thank you all for being here. Because it is Christmas Eve, and last year we were here on Christmas Day, I wanted to start with a brief message about Christmas. And as you all know, this is not a religious organization. We've had pastors, we've had rabbis, we've had many people from religious traditions come here to speak. And we've tried to always make it clear to people when people say, what is this group about? It is not about religion, it is not about politics. But if you're for anything in this world, you can't avoid religion and politics. And so as Julie and I were talking about it today, we realize you have to embrace your messages. And if your message is we're right and they're wrong, that's not such a great message. So we've tried to from the beginning. In fact, when Julie and I put together our About Justice Southbury page for our Facebook page the summer of 2020, we addressed the fact that we wanted this organization to be open to those who are Christian or Muslim or Jewish or Hindu or people of other faiths or no faiths. We hope that our message is resonant to anyone. Not that we're afraid of offending anybody. We certainly don't try to offend anyone if we don't mention you in the list. But we're hoping that the universality of the message is one that is appropriate and obviously appeals to some people and is repellent to others. But today is Christmas Eve. And so I wanted to do a brief message about Christmas. It is a day of birth. And regardless of your faith, it's a day that celebrates the birth of arguably the most influential person in history. Regardless of what you think about whether he's a person or not. Put that aside. Who had more influence in the 2023 years? We certainly cannot rejoice in all of the things that have been done in Jesus' name over 2023 years. But if we just focus on what he said, we can see how his words bring joy to the world. People say, what would Jesus do? Well, Jesus was pro-women, pro-peace, pro-tolerance. He talked about giving justice to the weak. He said, what you do to the least among us, you do to me. He maintained the right of the afflicted and the destitute. He said, learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression. He said, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly. When he was asked, what is the greatest commandment? He said, love your neighbor. And many times when I have conversations with people who oppose what we do, I ask them to start there. Say, do you like the Bible? Yeah. Who's the big guy in the Bible? Jesus. Was he asked what was number one? Yeah. What was that? Love your neighbor. Do you love your neighbor? Well, some of them. So we're called to take action and confront evil, to care for the vulnerable, to make right that which is wrong. All of these kinds of things don't just come from Jesus and come from the Bible, but if you take from the Bible and the story of Jesus those parts, then that's why you're here probably. So regardless of your faith traditions, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of your humanitarian perspectives, which may not include any religious structures, if you support Justice Southbury's vision of a more fair and kind community for all, then you can celebrate the birth of a thought leader whose preachings and teachings underlie the kinds of philosophies that we talk about here every week. So what would Jesus do? Would he be out here with us on a corner? Well, I just said something about walking humbly, so I'm not going to claim that, well, of course he'd be here. But when people say, why are you here? You shouldn't be here. And I say, well, do you think he would be here? Or do you think he would be revving his brakes, giving us smoke, and cursing us on Facebook? And I say, if you think that's what he'd be doing, tell me why. Because I can cite lots of his words to say why he would support this group. I can't cite a single thing that he had said that goes against what we talk about here. So that's my Christmas message.